Tampa's future isn't coming. It's already under construction. From Channel Side to West Shore, cranes are rising, streets are being ripped up and repaved, and new neighborhoods are popping up faster than you can say, "Public sub, post it please." We're seeing billion-dollar visions unfolding right here on the waterfront, just a stone's throw from where my grandmother used to roll cigars in Ybor. From downtown to the Heights, to the edges of the suburbs and beyond, Tampa is changing fast. And if you've been watching the growth, maybe while stuck in traffic on Del Mabry somewhere, you've probably wondered, is Tampa about to become something totally unrecognizable? Or will we somehow hold on to the grit, the culture, and the crazy charm that's always made this city feel like home? In this video, I'm gonna break down 16 real developments already shaping Tampa's next chapter. Mega projects, waterfront dreams, transportation expansions, you name it. Some are in motion, others, there's still whispers over café con leche. But if they all play out, Tampa won't just grow, it'll evolve into something bigger, something bolder, and totally leveled up. Tampa's transformation isn't one big switch, it's hundreds of little ones flipping all at once. A new park here, a skyline tower there, a forgotten block turning into the hottest new hangout. Some changes you can't miss, like cranes towering over Channel Side. Other ones, they sneak up on you until one day you drive by and think, wait, when did that get here? And we're not just running through 16 random buildings today, we're breaking it down into the 8 big forces driving Tampa's future so you can actually see the bigger picture. When a development is so big it feels like a whole new zip code, you know it's gonna change the game. These are the projects where you live with a view. You have grabbed sushi downstairs, you work a few blocks away, and still you're within walking distance of your Saturday night spot. In Tampa, it's got more than a few of those. Like take Water Street, Tampa. 56 acres of downtown waterfront that's already looking like a completely different city than it did just 5 years ago. This is a $3 billion bet on Tampa's future. We got new towers like Heron and Asher already full. The Tampa Edition Hotel, it made national headlines. And Sparkman's Wharf has gone from an empty lot to one of the most photographed spots in the city. Then there's Gasworks, the project breathing new life into the gap between Ybor and Channel Side. We're talking about 5,000 new homes, 500,000 square feet of office space, and 140,000 square feet of retail. The streets here, they're being designed for people first. Wide sidewalks, shaded trees, and that walk to dinner vibe you don't get in most of Tampa. And here's the grit. It's being built on the site of old industrial land, so there's a whole story of cleanup and reinvention just baked in right there. Now over in the middle grounds, Midtown Tampa, it's already made itself impossible to ignore. Anchored by REI, Whole Foods, and a rooftop bar that might just have one of the best skyline sunset views in the city. It's proof that people here want lifestyle and convenience in one spot. Plus, they're still adding phases, so expect more food, more events, and probably more traffic on Cypress. But keep your eyes out on Ybor Harbor. This one's still in the early stages, but if it lands, we're talking about a 33-acre mixed-use district with a soccer stadium for our girls, the Tampa Bay Sun, right on the waterfront. Imagine catching a game and then grabbing dinner without moving your car. These mega projects aren't just changing how these neighborhoods look, they're changing why people choose to live there. And the ripple effect, that's like the coffee shop 2 streets over that suddenly has a line out the door, the older house nearby starting to get fresh paint jobs, and the whole area takes on this new revived energy. It's not just about what's inside the development, it's about how it transforms everything around it. And if you want to figure out which neighborhoods are about to ride that wave, my team and I would love to help you map it out and find that spot that's perfect for your lifestyle. Our contact info, it's right there on the screen. We want you to reach out to us and we want to be your local Tampa real estate team of choice. Some parts of Tampa, they don't need a fresh coat of paint to feel alive. They've already got history baked into the sidewalks, but lately, a few of those neighborhoods are getting a glow up that's almost impossible to ignore. So let's take Tampa Heights. I remember when driving through here meant you might want to roll up your window, if you know what I mean. Now, you park the car for lunch at Armature Works and somehow end up spending the afternoon sipping Hidden Springs beer, catching a luxury car show, and debating if you really need another houseplant from the pop-up vendor. It's still got this grit, but now it's got options. Then there's the West River redevelopment. 120 acres of transformation just west of the Hillsborough River. And we're talking mixed income apartments, green spaces, a brand new community center, and a Riverwalk extension that'll make it easy to stroll from Julian B. Lane Park straight into downtown without ever touching a car. I mean, if you were to drive through there, I guarantee you some of the streets that I knew, they're gonna be fenced off with construction everywhere, but you're gonna be able to start seeing the bones of something huge taking place. These revivals, they aren't about turning Tampa into something it's not. They're about dialing up what's already here, the community, the culture, the flavor, and making sure the next chapter still feels like home, even if it comes with a few more coffee shops and $8 pastries, as long as we hold on to the ones that have been around for a while, like Rick's on the River. If Tampa's big mixed-use projects are the engine, retail and dining hubs, that's the chrome. The stuff that makes you want to stop, park, and stay for a while. They're where the city's personality shows up on a plate, in a shop window, or under a canopy of string lights. So first up, we're gonna talk about West Shore Plaza. For decades, it was your classic indoor mall, chain stores, food court, maybe a pretzel if you're feeling a little fancy. But in early 2024, the Tampa City Council gave the green light to something much bigger. The plan? Well, they're gonna demolish the mall and replace it with a massive open-air mixed-use district. 1 million square feet of retail and dining, new office space, a medical center, a hotel, and 1,700 residential units, all designed to be walkable and integrated with the neighborhood. Even Macy's, once a mainstay here, has closed to make way for the new vision. This isn't about quick shopping runs anymore. It's about creating a place you want to spend the day. Now, over in Ybor City, the evolution is more about culture than construction cranes. Sure, the nightlife is still there, but the daytime scene is picking up. Speakeasy-style bars, Cuban fusion restaurants, and local markets are giving the historic district new life. You got places like Lara, the apothecary-style bar and market, pulling in curious foodies, and big names like Mise en Place set to bring fine dining to Casa Gomez by the end of 2025. It's a subtle but deliberate shift to make Ybor as much of a daytime destination as it is a nightlife hotspot. And if you want proof that Tampa can pull off this kind of transformation, just look at Hyde Park Village. Not long ago, it was quiet, a handful of shops, a few places to eat. Now, it's one of the city's most popular walkable districts, packed with boutiques, restaurants, coffee spots, and a farmer's market that'll have you juggling pastries, plants, and probably a dog leash. It's living proof that retail in Tampa doesn't have to be transactional, it can be an experience. These places, they aren't just about shopping and dining, they're about creating spaces where people linger, they connect, and they feel like they're just part of something bigger than a single storefront. Since we're here, I've gotta know, what's your go-to Tampa hangout spot? Would it be grabbing a Cuban and people watching in Ybor, browsing the boutiques that we just mentioned in Hyde Park Village, or maybe it's one of those places only locals know about that you're half tempted to keep secret? Drop it down in the comments. I'm always looking for new spots to check out, and who knows, your favorite place might just make it in a future video. Now, if you've lived in Tampa for more than a week, you know two things. Traffic will test your patience, and the city wasn't exactly built for getting around without a car. But that's starting to change, and some of the projects in motion right now are setting the stage for a completely different way to move through the city. The Tico Line streetcar, which for years has been more of a novelty ride between downtown and Ybor, is finally breaking out of that box. Plans are underway to stretch it through Tampa Heights and maybe even further north. That means you could hop on near Armature Works and roll straight to Amalie Arena or Sparkman's Wharf without paying the parking game. Then there's the Howard Franklin Bridge replacement, a massive $865 million project that isn't just adding lanes, but also building in dedicated pedestrian and bike path across the bay. Even bigger, it's being engineered with a structural allowance for light rail in the future. And here's where things really start to get juicy. Tampa International Airport's new CEO is pushing for a 6-mile commuter rail line from Water Street through West Shore to connect directly with the SkyConnect system at the airport. Add in the growing talk of Brightline stop in Ybor that could link us to Orlando and Miami, and even earlier discussions of Cross Bay Rail between Tampa and St. Pete Clearwater, and you start to see the bigger picture. Picture this, you're on a bike or a streetcar from Seminole Heights to downtown. Need to grab a flight? You hop onto that commuter train to SkyConnect. Want to meet friends across the bay? There's a rail line sliding over the Howard Franklin Bridge. Maybe you're a regional commuter just catching Brightline back to Orlando. This isn't sci-fi stuff, it's infrastructure in progress. Tampa's laying the tracks, quite literally, to a future where the city moves differently, and it's happening right now. Tampa's waterfront isn't just about a view, it's part of our identity. The river, the bay, the green spaces all along the edge, they're where the city breathes. And right now, that edge is getting some serious attention. The biggest move on the public space side is the West Riverwalk extension. This project pushes the Riverwalk beyond its current limits, stretching west from Julian B. Lane Park into neighborhoods that have never had direct waterfront access. Once it's complete, you'll be able to walk, run, or bike from West Tampa all the way through downtown and into the Channel District without losing sight of the water. That's the kind of connection that changes how a city feels. But here's the thing. None of this matters if the system behind it aren't built to last. And that's why Tampa just wrapped up a $93 million upgrade to its nearly 100-year-old David L. Tippin water treatment facility. We're talking 8 new high-service pumps, new chlorine contact basin for cleaner water, and expanded storage to keep the taps running no matter what the weather throws at us. This isn't a fancy new water splash park, but it's water upgrades like this that Tampa needs to thrive for decades to come. Now, between the new paths, the shaded green spaces, and the quiet work happening behind the scenes, Tampa's not just polishing up its waterfront, it's making sure the whole system can handle the growth we know is coming. Tampa's skyline used to have room to breathe, a few standout towers, lots of open air, and that wide water backdrop. But now, the cranes are multiplying and the city's profile is stretching higher than ever. Leading that charge is One Tampa. At 55 stories, it's set to become the tallest residential building on Florida's west coast. But this isn't just about height. One Tampa is being built as a vertical neighborhood with bay to Gulf views, fine dining in the lobby, and street-level spaces designed to keep people lingering long after sunset. It's a bold statement that downtown isn't just growing, it's evolving. And just upriver, the Straz Center for the Performing Arts is in the middle of a $100 million plus expansion scheduled to wrap up by 2027. When it's done, the Straz will have a glass-walled lobby spilling right onto the Riverwalk, new performance spaces and outdoor terraces that bring Tampa's art scene directly to the water's edge. Picture it at night, the lights of the Straz reflecting off the river with the skyline as the backdrop. That's not just culture, that's a postcard. And then there's Hotel Aura and private residences, the very first condo hotel in downtown Tampa specifically approved for short-term rentals. Now that approval, that was a big deal in the developmental world, and buyers responded fast. Pre-sales moved at a pace that most projects can only dream about. Now, once complete, it's gonna be a sleek new addition to the skyline, bringing both hotel guests and high-spending residences right into the heart of downtown. I mean, boating down the riverfront, you will see One Tampa towering above all, and at night, the cultural glow of the Straz. And just know, the skyline is no longer just a view, it's a signal that Tampa's future, it's already taking shape. But let's be real, the skyline's the pretty picture. The real story happens on the streets below, where shops, restaurants, and entertainment districts are turning neighborhoods into destinations. And Tampa, it's got a few of those that are really starting to cook right now. Now, Tampa's growth isn't just measured in buildings going up. It's measured in ideas, industries, and the institutions that drive them. This city has been quietly building an innovation ecosystem that's now impossible to pretty much ignore. At the center of it all is Tampa Bay Wave, our nationally recognized startup accelerator. They've helped launch and scale dozens of high-growth companies right here in the Bay, turning Tampa into a legit player in the tech and entrepreneurial world. Pair that with a medical sector that's punching way above its weight, from USF Health's research in downtown to Moffitt Cancer Center's expansion into a 775-acre innovation district in Pasco County, and you start to see the pieces of a real innovation hub falling into place. And then there's the defense sector, an economic force that most people don't even realize is woven into Tampa's DNA. MacDill Air Force Base, it isn't just a military installation, it's a hub for cybersecurity, intelligence, and high-tech logistics that start to spill over into the private sector. And that ties directly into Tampa's growing tech scene, where companies in fintech, cybersecurity, and health tech are finding the talent and infrastructure they need to scale. But here's the key. Innovation can't just live inside office parks and labs. It needs to just have a way to connect to the world, and that's where Tampa International Airport's Airside D expansion comes in. This $787 million project, set to open in 2028, will add a new 16-gate terminal built to handle more domestic and international flights with state-of-the-art security, sustainability features, and more space to showcase Tampa's local food and culture to travelers. Now, it's not just an airport upgrade, it's a direct pipeline between Tampa's innovators and the global stage. In essence, a powerful combination of strong educational and research institutions, a flourishing startup ecosystem, strategic government initiatives, a diverse and growing industry base, and investment in crucial infrastructure, all connected by one of the nation's best airports, is setting Tampa up to be a true center of innovation and institutional growth for decades to come. Now, if everything so far feels big, this is where Tampa looks at the board and says, all right, let's go even bigger. These aren't all locked in, shovel-ready projects that I'm about to tell you about, but if they land, they could completely shift the city's identity. So first up, the Tampa Bay Rays stadium talks. No plans here, just whispers, but a downtown Tampa ballpark is still the dream for many locals. Picture skyline views from the upper deck, river walk pregame crowds, and businesses from Channelside to Armature Works buzzing on game days. Then there's the North Downtown and East Tampa revitalization concepts. Underused land reimagined as walkable mixed-use neighborhoods that finally stitch the city together. Transportation's wild card, a fully realized light rail or cross bay rail connecting Tampa to St. Pete, downtown, and Orlando, paired with smart city transit tech that makes moving around easier than ever. And while we're here dreaming, how about we start connecting the suburbs to the city while we're at it? Now, if that's not too far-fetched, I'll settle for an Italy coming to Ybor. It's not that far-fetched, right? And finally, the next wave of cultural districts. Think new waterfront venues, art museum expansions, and reimagine historic areas, blending Tampa's cigar-making past with a tech-powered future. These wildcards could push us from a growing city to a global contender. If even a couple hit, the Tampa we know today will just be the opening chapter. From billion-dollar mega projects to neighborhood glow-up, Tampa's not just growing, it's reinventing itself. And whether these changes are happening in your backyard or across the bay, they're shaping the city we'll all be living in 5 to 10 and maybe 20 years from now. If you want to make sure your next move puts you right where you belong, the place that gives you the lifestyle you really want, my team's here to guide you. We understand the projects shaping the city. We know the neighborhoods like the back of our hand, and we want to be your local Tampa real estate team of choice. Reach out as we want to help you find your next home. And hey, if you're not ready to pack, boxes yet, no problem. Keep riding shotgun with me. Click the playlist here and see what it really looks like to live in Tampa, one neighborhood at a time. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Woo!